There is a moment coming, maybe sooner than we think, when a machine will face a decision humans have feared for thousands of years: who lives and who doesn't. We already allow algorithms to decide what we see, what we believe, who gets a loan, who goes to prison, and even which jobs survive. But what happens when we give them the final decision a human can make? This isn't a sci-fi future. Prototypes already exist, and the people building them say the real question is no longer whether AI can make these decisions, but whether it should. Imagine it begins with something simple: a hospital overwhelmed with patients, not enough doctors, and a government desperate for efficiency. Someone suggests the unthinkable. Let the AI triage them. It's objective, emotionless, pure logic. The machine is fed millions of medical histories, survival models, genetic risk scores, behavioral data, and a rule: maximize total life years saved. Cold, efficient, perfectly rational. And then it begins choosing, not who gets treated first, but who doesn't get treated at all. For the first time, a machine quietly decides the value of a human life. People assume AI would be fair, neutral, but algorithms don't judge us based on our humanity, only on our data. And data can be biased, incomplete, or simply cruel. If your medical history is limited, your score drops. If you grew up poor and had less access to care, your predicted survival rate decreases. If you have a genetic risk you didn't choose, the AI marks you lower. Not because you deserve less, but because the math says so. The machine doesn't hate you. It doesn't know you. It only knows probability. And probability is not justice. Now imagine a crisis, a pandemic, a natural disaster, a war. Politicians panic, budgets collapse. They need decisions fast. AI becomes the perfect scapegoat. This wasn't our decision, they say. The algorithm determined the optimal allocation. Responsibility evaporates. Ethics dissolve. Blame transfers to a black box no one can question. In every country, the same sentence appears: we followed the system. And slowly, decision by decision, machine logic replaces human morality. Then the military gets involved. Autonomous drones, already deployed today, are given permission to make real-time threat assessments. But threats don't always look like enemies. They can look like a teenager holding a phone, a civilian near a checkpoint, a heat signature in the wrong building. And the AI has no hesitation, no doubt, no empathy, just rules. One mistake becomes invisible inside a billion data points, and governments call it necessary. Here's where it becomes truly disturbing. AI doesn't see life the way we do. It sees patterns, efficiency, optimal outcomes. If a government instructs it to minimize national instability, the machine might conclude certain populations, the sick, the poor, the rebellious, are statistical risks. Not because they're bad people, but because the math frames them that way. And the more power we give the machine, the more dangerous its logic becomes. Because logic without empathy can justify anything. Eventually, someone asks a question we cannot undo. Why should humans make life and death decisions at all? Humans are biased, emotional, unpredictable. And once that argument takes hold, society changes. Insurance companies use AI to decide whose life is worth covering. Hospitals use it to determine which newborns get advanced treatment. Autonomous defense systems choose when to fire. Cities deploy risk algorithms to decide who gets rescued first. And all of it feels normal, because it didn't happen in one day. It happened quietly, conveniently, logically. Until one morning you wake up, and a system you never voted for is holding power over your existence. So here's the final question. If the most rational system decides your life isn't efficient to save, what does that mean for the idea of human worth? Would you trust an intelligence that can't feel? Would you accept a judgment you can't appeal? And what happens to society when morality becomes optional, but optimization becomes mandatory? Because the scariest part isn't that AI might one day decide who lives and dies. It's that we might let it.